Can you tell me a little bit about that toxic relationship, or maybe think of the most painful relationship that you've been in? What was that like?
I didn't realize that love was a skill. I thought that it was just attracting girls. That was all as far as my mind went, is just being able to get the girl. I didn't realize that the challenge isn't attracting the girl, it's actually in being in the relationship. That's why I respect the guys who've been in long-term relationships, because that's where the real challenge is. Once you learn how to speak to a girl and you're fairly attractive and you're confident, it's like it's not that difficult, especially when you know it's a numbers game as well. But when you've only got the one girl and you have to maintain like a long-term relationship, that's a training ground every day, and you don't realize how like analytical your woman is of evaluating, and how fickle her emotions are, and how she'll test you 24/7, and you have to be at your best performance. And if you even get a fleeting thought next to her, she'll literally get like a spike of pain, because women are so sensitive to a man's presence. So it's I just didn't realize of how much it would require from me. And so there was moments where I was not the loving man that I wanted to be. I failed in that duty of a man. I didn't even know what the duty of a man was supposed to be. No, I didn't have Hamza. I didn't have Andrew Tate back then. But like back when I was dating in university, it was it was it was like some weird, like just modern day 50-50. You just kind of meet, you have sex, and you kind of end up getting into a relationship. And I never knew that men and women were supposed to have different roles in the relationship. So I wasn't the provider. I wasn't working hard. I had beta-ized myself by spending so much time with her that we had neutralized like the sexual polarity, that suddenly the thing that attracted us together, which was sex, had now been destroyed, because now we were more like friends who were spending too much time together. So I'd say probably the single worst decision that I've made is actually living with my partner, because like with like the girl that I was dating, because I just didn't realize how much that can destroy a relationship, how quickly. For certain people it really works well, but for me and for that relationship I was in, we went from being that like exciting couple that really wanted to see each other all the time, to then being around each other 24/7. And I wasn't that mysterious guy anymore. She wasn't that like sexy girl that I wanted to see anymore. She was just annoying. And I was just like a bitch basically next to her, complaining. And, like she sees the worst of you. Usually when you're going to go on a date with a girl, it's like, you dress up nice, you use your sexy voice when you speak to her, your eye contact, you hold on to the hug and stuff, your eyes linger to each other and everything. But when it's like your girl and she's just round 24/7, it's very hard to still have that same magical connection with each other. And so I made the mistake of living together, spending 24/7 together, and then also losing that male friendship, that brotherhood, that masculine zest that made me less attractive, that made me less masculine next to her. So she had to weirdly take over the masculine side. And it it was like very much the downfall of the climb that I had going into university for a few years. Life was better and better, self-improvement, alpha male, like I'm getting into the gym, social, everything. Life was going up. And because I didn't realize that these lessons, it sharply declined to the worst period of my life, where I was so depressed, I was so anxious, I needed so many substances. I randomly got like a porn addiction whilst living with my girlfriend. So she's in the other room. That's how unhealthy our relationship was. That I'd just be in the bathroom, just fapping instead of actually being with her, because the attraction had just died down. If you're next to a girl 24/7, you can imagine it's kind of like fun for the first little while, but after a while, it's like, it's actually not nice. You turn into a weirdo. Like a man is just so weak when he's around a woman 24/7. You need other men who sharpen your blade alongside you, and I completely lack that. And I just didn't realize how important it was till I started to study masculinity. And I just wish I had learned those lessons earlier, like many of your viewers are now.
And how did it play out, that relationship?
Like I said, it started with that dynamic of me being the mysterious like alpha male that she always wanted to get with, and she was completely and utterly like devoted to me. And I was like the sort of university like party boy and everything. So I had like not clout, but I had like social status, and I would go to the parties and people knew me and everything, which is like amazing for your self-image and your ego. You feel like a young lad. But then around that time that we started to live together, it's like I stopped making the progress in the gym. I started making progress in
And did she then come to you and end it, or did she cheat, or what was the ending of that story?
entrepreneurship, honestly. I was living with her whilst getting these mad desires of business, and I debated the decision to break up with her for months to move back home, knowing that that would be better for business. And I was deeply in love with this girl. I had brushed my teeth next to her for about 2 or 3 years straight every morning. I even like wasn't even close with my family at all. We had a massive argument, so all my family was blocked as well. But I knew that if I just sucked it up and moved back home, and also that like if I wasn't with her in this dynamic, I'd be able to make it as an entrepreneur. And so that's when I left things. Like we were living together, and I just told her one day that I'm going to move out. I'm going to go back home.